Hey everybody, my name is Brian, that is Shane, and this is the Popcast Unleashed every Thursday at, who knows?
At whatever time we decide to go, man.
Apparently.
12:30, 1:30, or 1:53. So welcome.
Thank you
Thank
being
you guys
here.
for all waiting around. We've had people like sitting over there just kind of waiting and chilling. It's like, you know, and I got to tell you, we appreciate you guys so much for putting up with us. But today was a tough one because we had some, I don't know, how do you want to explain it, Brian? Some unexpected, unforeseen circumstances that got in the way.
So I woke up really early this morning. I'm like, I'm going to get the show scheduled. I'm going to get, all the various news stories, and we're going to plan this thing out right. Then I'm going to call for my day job. And FedEx is the worst. FedEx is the worst shipping company that's ever existed on the face of our great planet. And yes, I am also including like straight up delivering with horses in the 1800s. FedEx is a garbage company. I suggest you never use them. F that company. Let me tell you what they did. For some reason, a vendor decided to ship something to our shop with FedEx. If he didn't deliver such an impeccable product, I would punch him in the face. Because the product is supposed to arrive on Tuesday, right? No. Well, the tracking number initially said the 13th. And then when you showed it to me, 5 days later, it said the 14th. Whatever, It's just a day. I made sure there was someone waiting for him at our shop. But FedEx... I'm so angry. The driver drove up, saw a closed door, didn't even get out of the truck.
Just kept going. Yep.
He just briefly slowed down. It would have been, if it was a stop sign, he would have gotten pulled over. He just sort of did like this rolling stop, looked, didn't see a car and a closed door, and was like, they're probably not there, and took off. My guy is sitting there watching him like, I don't know, man, he just drove away. Like this. System of all time. You have to trick it. And when you finally trick it, you get in there, and they get you to a person, and the person's like, may I have your customer account number? I'm like, I don't have that. May I have your tracking number? Here it is. Okay, sir, this will be delivered tomorrow. Thank you. Have a good day. And he hung up. I'm like, bro, I can feel the veins in my face start to move. I call back, get to another guy. And I'm like, don't fucking hang up on me. Okay? I will find you. I will find you and I will end you. Like,
this is what the phone systems have done to us. They've frustrated us to no end.
How can I help you, sir? I'm like, look, your driver just drove past just flew by my shop and then marked it as undeliverable. I need that equipment. And the guy's like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Let me get him on the phone. And he's like, I'll put you on hold. Put you on hold. Comes back like 5 minutes later. It's all very believable, by the way.
Right.
I realized after the fact none of this actually happened.
While it's on hold, he's having like tea and crumpets.
Right. He's drinking tea. He's like, these dummies. Ha, ha, ha. Finally comes back. He's like, I got to hold the driver. He's going to be coming back to your business to drop it off later today. Make sure someone's there. I'm like, awesome. He goes, also, just to make sure you get it, I gave him your phone number and he's going to call you. I'm like, awesome. He goes, I'll also set you up for text message notifications. I'm like, awesome. You're doing great, Kamir. Thanks, man. He's like, you'll have by the end of the day, sir. Have a great day. I'm like, you too, Kamir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Success.
None of that shit happens. None of it. All of that was a big giant lie. My guy sat there waiting until he had to leave. Then I had to go wait until I'd leave. Finally, at like 6:30 at night, I'm realizing the company's not even open anymore. This ain't happening.
They're not coming back.
Right. Full bold-faced lie. And then to add insult to the wonderful bloody injury, okay, I get a text message with a delivery notification, and it says, your label has been created. Expect delivery by the 16th.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's the 15th, by the way. I'm like, I got smoke coming on my ears. There are people that don't even know me that are like moving out of the way so that they're not even near my general vicinity. Long story short.
So what was the culmination? Yeah.
I called them this morning. I was like, no, that tracking information is wrong. They're gonna redeliver it today. I'm like, what time? Like anywhere between, wait for it, 10 and 7 p.m.
Right. No, it's terrible. And yeah, if they just decide the thing with FedEx,
that's not even a window. That's just a day.
Do you know why FedEx does that? Because after 2 times of not being able to deliver it, FedEx has a policy where they leave the package at their facility, then you have to go pick it up. So the drivers know that like they can't really get in trouble. You know, there's no proof that you were there. It's a sham, and it's these, derelict drivers that.
Bro, how about this? The phone system kept getting me to try to just go pick it up. I was like, would you like to pick this up instead? Press 2. And I'm like, no, press 1 to talk to a person. I'm going to press 1. I was like, press 1 to also pick it up. I'm like, fuck you guys. But no, stop it. It kept trying to trick me into leaving it at the FedEx facility.
So the guy finally showed up. And what did you say?
He showed up. Ready? Our show was scheduled to start at 1 o'clock.
12:30.
This guy showed up at like 12:45.
Oh my God.
And now I'm like, I gotta put this stuff together. And I'm like trying to do it, and I gotta see it myself. I can't just leave it here for our poor guy to hopefully figure it out. So I'm like, to be honest, I think it was the fastest I've ever pulled a print head out of a machine and redocked and re-idented a print head. It was like record speed. Steve, the guy that works there, is like, I've never seen that done that fast before. I'm like, I gotta go. I've got a show. He's like, okay, all right.
Did you say anything to the FedEx driver, or did you just let him go?
Yeah, no. I did.
What'd you tell him?
I don't know if I can repeat it here. Okay. Ready? Here was the FedEx driver. I don't know. I can't. I'm not. I was very mean.
There were expletives.
I was mean. I called him, I asked him if he was just basically an AI, if he's a human, if he's a robot in human skin. Because there's clearly no humanity left in this individual. It was a real bad thing. I actually feel a little bad now in hindsight, but he is clearly a bad driver, and I don't want anyone to lose their job. I'm not going to call about it after the fact, but that dude at least should get out of the car and check the door.
Yeah, I bet he was young, right?
Yeah, very young.
Yeah, he was young. And that's what happens after, all this time of staying home during COVID. People don't want to go to work, but life will get back to normal.
Hey guys,
let me just say,
lie.
Okay.
Well,
let me just tell you guys, welcome to the show. Appreciate you guys being here. Got lots of fun stuff to talk about. We're going to talk Strange New Worlds here in a moment. If you haven't seen the review, if you haven't seen Strange New Worlds, season 2, episode 1, make sure you go watch that. We will be talking spoilers today during the show, but we also did drop our actual review. So we decided this year, instead of every year doing what we used to do and letting the live show be dominated by the review, because our review takes like an hour and a half. We didn't want to do that with the live show. So we did that separately, and we actually released it at 6:00 this morning. So it's out there floating on the channel if you want to go see our review and breakdown of it. Now we're just going to hit the highlights today. And then we got some other stuff we're going to talk about. But first, let me remind you, we have the Stream Hero in the upper left-hand corner. So anytime you super chat or support the channel, you can break into that and become the Stream Hero yourself. At the end of the stream, we'll be spinning the wheel for a prize for whoever wins that, and we'll send that off to you. Also, if you notice across the top of the screen, we have the top 10 people who have supported the channel for the month of June. And just real quick here, Christopher Mays is in first place, Kenneth LaRoque in second, the Dork Knight in third, and the top 3 people at the end of the month will receive a Loot Crate box from us with some prizes and some things in it that are unexpected. So you'll want to get in one of those top 3 spots. And you can see your name running across there. And thank you to everyone who supported us, whether you're on the top 10 list or not. And let's have a good show today. What do you say?
Yes. And to answer JT, no, we are not. It wasn't Mixed Teas is not the problem. I was actually trying to do stuff for Mixed Teas. So no, Mixed Teas is good. FedEx was delivering equipment. Mixed Teas does not use FedEx. They use USPS, and they've never had problems. So, I mean, no major problems, I should say.
I mean, occasionally things can happen, but
nothing like that. Nothing like they just like toss your delivery in the garbage and be like, undeliverable.
You ever seen those videos that came out with like the different delivery services and how they treat your package?
Yeah. They have. It was great. Amazon was like sweeping up on the way out.
right. UPS is like kicking your package into the door.
FedEx actively destroys the package before it leaves, and it spits on your doorway.
We're also going to be talking about. Looks like we got a little bit of Flash stuff. Brian's got a little bit of a rant.
No spoilers. I'm not talking about spoilers.
No spoilers, because I'm going to see the movie at 5:00 today. Brian's going to see it at 7, so we aren't going to talk any spoilers, even though I think Brian's already seen part of it. We're also going to talk a little bit about Indiana Jones and the fact that some reviews coming out are actually not so bad. So is there some confusion? Are people telling the truth? We're going to go into that a little bit, and maybe a little bit Las Vegas UFO update, maybe a little Babylon 5 animated series trailer. We'll see what we can get to. And what else you got, Brian?
No, I mean, that's what you just said is everything that I want to talk about today.
All right.
Yeah. So originally, when I put the Flash on there, Shane was like, "Look, I don't want to talk about the Flash. I'm going to see it. I don't want any spoilers." I'm like, "I don't want to. I'm not talking about spoilers." But we do have to talk about some of the like hyper disingenuous people we have out there. Here's the deal.
Before you go into the Flash, though, we should do Star Trek Legacy update.
Okay, you're right.
Are you going to go Flash? Or are you going hardcore Flash?
Oh no. Yeah, you're right. Let me. I want when I focus on that, I want to really dig in. So let's talk about Legacy, because Akiva Goldsman.
Yeah. So if you guys notice, I got to tell you guys, if you're excited about Picard season 3 and the potential for Star Trek Legacy, if you're paying any attention to social media like Twitter and some of these spaces, then you're going to see that there is a movement happening. It's already got the petition that we put out has almost 60,000 signatures, and more important people keep getting attached to it. And something happened yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, where Trek Movie actually did an article that talked about Akiva Goldsman who is the showrunner for Strange New Worlds. He's Alex Kurtzman's like right-hand man for Star Trek, and how he actually signed the petition. And I don't know if we can pop up. Do you still have the
quote?
His quote?
Yeah, it's right here in the article.
So why don't I have that article? I know you sent. Is the article in Slack?
Yeah.
Under news?
I'll give it to you. I'll just message directly to you.
Okay.
So basically, what he says. Well, I'll let Shane say it, but it's definitely promising. That's for sure.
Yeah, and the fact that it's coming from Akiva is important. So let's just go ahead and say what he says here. So, well, I think what Terry did with season 3 is so extraordinary, and I think that the appetite for it is, I think, undeniable. So certainly, I am a huge advocate of some version of that continuing. It was so spectacular. I think what he did. And so, right now there's no pitching of anything. Right now, the world is shut down due to the writer's strike. But, I would really hope, let me put it like this. I signed the petition for Star Trek Legacy 2. So what does that mean? Well, we already believe, and you can go back and watch our videos on it on the Prime channel, but we already believe that something has been promised to some degree. I think that when the IMAX happened, and Brian and I believe that when the IMAX happened for Picard season 3, and they gave their presentation, that Terry Matalas had already been, and this is just rumor, we don't know for certain, but we do believe that he's been told, hang in there, something's going to happen. They're going to do something. Whether or not they give him the 7 of 9 Janeway thing that they've been planning, and perhaps turn that into Star Trek Legacy somehow, or something of that effect. But having Akiva Goldsman sign the petition and throw his support out there like that is a really big deal.
Right.
So Akiva is the reason why Terry Matalas is a part of Star Trek.
Right.
So I know there's a lot of us that complain about Akiva Goldsman. A lot of people complain about him, and some of the stuff he's done with Star Trek has not been great, and other products. But he's also done some really good things. And one of the good things he did is he's the reason we have Captain Pike at all. Like when he came into Discovery, he was the one who said, "We're going to cover Captain Pike, right?" And I think Kurtzman, Alex Kurtzman's like, Pike who? Oh, you're in charge of Star Trek, right? And Akiva's like, Captain Pike, we've never done anything when he was the first captain.
Who is Pike?
And so because of his encouragement, we ended up getting Pike in Discovery season 2. We get the spinoff, and arguably, no matter what you think of Strange New Worlds, it's way better than, at least in our opinion, it's way better than Star Trek Discovery. So he's that. And then he also brought Terry Matalas in to help with Picard season 1's, some of its VFX stuff. And that got Terry introduced to Alex. So what we're saying is that Akiva is the right-hand man of Alex Kurtzman. And Alex Kurtzman is kind of the type of person who goes with the people he has close to him. And if Akiva is throwing support at Star Trek Legacy, that means that Alex isn't anti-Star Trek Legacy. Because if Alex was anti-Star Trek Legacy, Akiva wouldn't be supporting it publicly.
Right. That would be like me supporting really something Shane hates. Imagine that and be like, guys, I really, really love FedEx.
Right. Right. Or FastX.
Or right after Shane goes on like a 20-minute rant about how much he hates FedEx, I'm like, they're a pretty good company.
Yeah. So that's a really good sign that the behind the inner workings, there's at least the positive potential for Star Trek Legacy. And honestly, like we've said before, the longer the writer's strike goes on, the better it is for Star Trek Legacy, because they can't really create any new products, right? They can't do anything else. All they can do is look at what's making them money on the Paramount Plus streaming network, and guess which one it is? Star Trek Picard season 3 is the one doing it. Made by Terry Matalas. If you go back, I'm willing to bet a pinky on this, or some sort of digit, or maybe even an appendage.
No, I like that, a pinky.
Okay, I'm willing to bet that Star Trek Picard season 3 has had the most viewership of any season of Star Trek since Discovery season 1 came out.
Well, if you go back and look at Nielsen Digital, it's the only Star Trek show to ever crack that list. So it had to have gotten most
well, no, the thing is that list is relatively new.
Oh, I see.
So that list is only about a year and a half old. So you have to go back and look at. I still believe, and based on the numbers, even Strange New Worlds, like when Picard season 3 had stuff come out, like hundreds of thousands of people viewed the stuff coming out for that, like hundreds of thousands, upwards of 1 million, right? When Paramount Plus put out its Strange New Worlds teaser, like by day 4, there were only 72,000 views on YouTube. And it's like, because the interest is different. And I'm not saying, and I got to tell you, I'm not saying if you love any of these Star Trek products that we've criticized, then that's awesome. Like, good for you, because life is short, and having something to love is really what life is all about. So we're happy for you, if you love something that we maybe are criticizing, and don't take it personal, right? Just because we don't like it doesn't mean you can't. So note to that. But I will say that we really are holding on to the fact that we want Terry Matalas to continue making Star Trek, and this thing that Akiva Goldsman has done really sends the message that it's heading in the right direction, in our opinion.
Yeah. That said, though, thank you, Rebecca Spade. She asks for $5. Thank you, Rebecca. Isn't Akiva a new Trek writer? The rainbowing of all the characters.
Well,
I think he's definitely modern, but he's better. Strange New Worlds is much better than Discovery. It's not. There's still problems, but it's definitely better than Discovery. And I personally think that Strange New Worlds, even with the problems, I still feel like it still feels like Star Trek. Unlike Discovery, never felt like really like Star Trek at all.
Yeah, I think as far as a new Trek writer, I mean, yes, he came into Star Trek during when Discovery was being made. Alex Kurtzman brought him in to help him because Brian Fuller was let go, who was the actual creator and his partner. And so, Alex needed somebody to help him oversee the production of Discovery. So Akiva was brought in. So yes, he's done a lot of the writing. He's arguably done some writing that's not very good. But he's also responsible for some of the ideas that have been good. I mean, he's actually probably responsible for the direction of Star Trek changing somewhat when Discovery was in, season 2 and everybody wanted a Strange New Worlds. The rainbowing of all the characters is not an Akiva Goldsman. He's not the reason why it's rainbowing. Why there's, that was a product of Brian Fuller right from the beginning, and Alex Kurtzman. They've just kind of kept on. That's what they're going for. They believe that Star Trek is all about IDIC completely. And I believe that IDIC is a part of Star Trek, but not all of Star Trek. And that's kind of the divergence.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Hopefully that answers your question. Thanks for the support.
Fuller just shot all of his rainbow juice all over to the franchise. That's really for gross.
And Akiva and Rebecca, you've broken into the hero spot. Well, you're not there yet, but you're breaking us down. So thanks for the support.
Okay. All right. So I think that's a pretty good update on Legacy. The petition has slowed down a little bit, if I'm going to be real. We are so close to 60,000 views. However, signatures. However, we're not quite there yet. It's definitely crawling now. So we're hoping to get some more promotion on the next video, or perhaps with change.org.
Well, I think there's been a lot of excitement. And, I got to tell you, this is a sign. I worry. I don't worry, but it's interesting that change.org has kind of intimated that the more signatures you get, the more it builds signatures, the more visibility they provide it as it grows signatures. You're telling me there's less than 60,000 Legacy Trek fans out there? Give me a break. There's a couple million.
Right.
So, if change.org is pushing this out like they say they are, then I'd like to see the rubber meet the road. Because a lot of people have given money to help push it.
Yeah.
And signatures have been crawling lately. Hopefully,
even
Trek
though
Movie
we told
will
people
give it
not to.
push.
They still did.
I just haven't seen any evidence that giving them money does your petition better. So.
Yeah, I don't think it does. Yeah, I think, and some people thought that they were giving us money. We're not getting any of that money. We just set up the petition. No. We got none of that money. That is all going to change.org. It's very specifically change.org.
Yeah, all we want is good Star Trek by Terry Matalas.
Yeah,
Because he's
honestly,
proven he can do it.
if there was another reputable petition company, we might consider using them because, well, I don't like the whole like begging people for money constantly. It bothers the crap out of me. It really does. I can't even go on there. Like you go on there as not the Popcast, dude. Every page is like, would you like to promote this? Promote this update, promote this, promote that. Like, okay, all right, come on.
That's how they make their money. Yeah,
it's not stop. All right. Well, another thing too, real quick complaint. We know the guys at TrekMovie.com. You mention our petition. Can you mention us just once?
Right.
No, for real though. Like we're going on what 6 articles that you've written about the petition and about people's reaction to the petition. Not a single mention of the Popcast brothers.
Well, you're right to some degree because nobody else had the foresight to start the petition. I'm sure somebody would have started a petition at some point, but we did think to do it early, and I think it's proved to help people make up their minds. So many people have signed that petition. I can tell you, like probably half of the people working in Star Trek today have signed that petition. We've seen so many names come across the list, including like Jerry Ryan and Akiva and Todd Stashwick and Terry, and all those people have signed.
Jonathan Frakes literally yesterday said he did too.
Jonathan Frakes, Brent Spiner. I mean, all these people have signed the petition because, that'd be cool if they throw our name. I mean, if they don't, they don't.
All I'm saying.
Listen, if everybody wins, if we don't get the credit and we win, then I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah, as long as the end goal. I'm just saying, like, all I'm saying is this: we know the guy. We're going on 6 articles.
That may be why he's not.
He mentions Cinema Blend and everyone else, but he can't throw our name. The creators of the
YouTubers are not considered legitimate. Media does not consider YouTube legitimate, and you know what? Let them continue to ignore us because. Yeah. We're just continue to outpace them.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep ignoring us. Yeah.
We like being the underdog. Eventually, when YouTube takes over the world, then we'll see what happens.
Yeah. YouTube literally gets more views than any other streaming service on the internet. So.
Yeah. Wait, is your platform on YouTube? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
My bad. All right.
I mean, YouTube's the place to be. I mean, Michael Rosenbaum did a awesome interview with James Gunn about like all this DC stuff.
Bro, I logged in to our account to watch that. I was going to add it to our list, and I saw that it was already like half watched. I'm like, who the hell watched this? You watched that interview? Wait, I didn't know you watched Michael Rosenbaum.
Of course, I watch it when he has people on that I like.
I didn't know you did. That this is something I'm learning about you. I love Michael Rosenbaum. He's my Lex Luthor.
I know. Yeah, I actually, I know you're a huge fan of Smallville. And that's why Michael is actually setting the table for a lot of us YouTubers because he's getting people on. You're seeing that it's kind of legitimized.
Yeah, and Shuttlepod's
Shuttlepod's helping with the Star Trek stuff. Hopefully, we can get Robert Picardo to come on us next. We'll see what happens.
That'd be great. All right. So yeah, that is the update for the old Star Trek legacy. It's a good update. The second in command in charge of Star Trek at Paramount literally signed the petition to bring back Star Trek Legacy. I can't think of a better news other than an actual announcement, or maybe Kurtzman saying, I signed the petition too. But if he said that, like, why not just do it?
It's such a good sign. I mean, think about it like this. Like, Akiva is a showrunner. Akiva and Terry, they may be friends or they may support each other or whatever, but ultimately, like, they're competing with each other's shows to some degree. Like, is my show better? Is your show better? So it actually says a lot about Akiva, regardless of how you feel about him, that he comes out publicly and supports Terry like this.
Yeah.
So I love that.
John Burns for $2.79. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you, man.
He says IDIC includes the fantastic or communistic Borg.
Oh, well, I mean, depending on how you look at it, right?
I mean,
they are fascists, right? They're trying to, control everything, and then you've got the they share everything.
Infinite
So-
diversity and infinite combinations. We will add your biological and technological details to our own or whatever. Yeah,
perhaps they're the perfect species.
Sounds like they are. And you know what? If you go back to my theory, or our theory, I believe IDIC started to make its way into the zeitgeist when the soft reboot happened. Think about this. What if the Borg actually took over Starfleet at the highest level?
Okay.
And they're utilizing the Federation the way like a Marxist would to slowly integrate into the whole galaxy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You got great theories, man. They're a little wild sometimes, but I appreciate them.
That's what I do. I throw everything at the wall, and a couple things stick, and I look like a genius. Christopher Mays.
What's up, Christopher? Holding that #1 spot right now for the month. Appreciate you, man. $19.99. Thanks for the support. What up, guys?
What up, yo?
Christopher's been dominating the boards this month, and you guys will have to work hard to catch up to him.
Speaking of Michael Nemo, also, I effed up on Monday, my dude. I'm not even sure if you're here right now, okay? But I apologize for my mistakes. I don't know why I sound like Clinton there. I apologize for that too.
That was weird. Yeah, you did. I apologize.
Yeah, I went into Clinton. I did not have sexual relations with my hand. No, listen. So I'm writing down the times on the Monday stream. I'm writing everything down, and I popped all the contenders up there, and I have little dashes for every minute that goes by, and like I'm dashing. I made a mistake, and your name was swapped with Dork Knight, and it was just a mistake. And I was just, as I was going, I was just putting the wrong dashes, and I went back and I watched the stream when I was uploading it, and I'm like, oh, I was wrong. So you won.
Also, so what's cool is that Dork Knight won something, and we're not going to take away his prize.
No,
but Michael Nemo also wins something. So at the end of this stream, when we pick today's winner, we will also spin for Michael Nemo to see what he won from last week.
Yes, that's what we'll do. So.
And what can they win? What can they win?
Today, for sure, it's a Popcast mouse pad.
Okay,
that was already there. And then the Stargate clock, that's still in the that's still in the running, okay. Right? And we're gonna throw in an Indiana Jones shirt and a Flash shirt.
Okay,
just to sort of
4 items
with the theme,
Let's do another Indiana Jones. Do you still have that journal?
What do you mean? I never had the journal.
No, do you still have the image, or do you still have the journal? Remember we gave away the journal?
Is there another one out there?
Yeah, I got 2.
What the actual F, Shane? What do you mean there's another one?
I was hesitant to tell you because I know you wanted it. Oh my God,
hold on, wait, no.
The problem is I
this
don't
is
want
ridiculous. Bro, I don't understand.
I want our supporters to have it. I don't want you to have it.
Bro, I want the journal. Are you kidding me? You have another journal?
I do. I've been waiting to
This is unbelievable. No, this is.
Maybe when your birthday comes around.
I'm feeling very betrayed right now.
I'm sorry. Maybe when your birthday comes around.
I don't
but
understand.
for somebody else,
I want the journal. Why is it such a big deal?
If you guys aren't aware of what it is, it's the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade journal that he used to find his father. And we will be throwing up one of those as a prize today. And listen, somebody win it because, we don't want Brian to snake it.
This is so stupid. This is so stupid that you gaslighted me in the first time. And when I found out what it was, I thought there was
gaslight
one.
You.
No, you did. No, you made me think that it was something else. And then on the show, you were like, well, the Indiana Jones journal from last Crusade. I'm like, what the fuck? I want this. So no offense to you guys, but whoever wins, I hope you don't get it. So I hope you lose.
That's messed up. Christopher Mays won the first one.
Christopher Mays don't want it. He doesn't want it.
He does want it.
I'll tell you what, Christopher, if you win this, okay, I'll buy it off you. Damn shame. We'll get it. You can sell it to me.
With you? Just Christopher, double up on the price for it. If you're going to sell it to him, make sure you charge him double.
You're so ridiculous sometimes.
Christopher, you haven't got your journal yet. It's one of those products that's taken a while to get here. So as soon as that arrives, it'll be off to you. So unfortunately, some of these things we've gotten are coming from far away. So, but as soon as they get here, they'll definitely go straight out to you guys.
So insane. So ridiculous.
Sorry. Let's move on.
Sorry. Are you sorry, Shane? Okay.
You got enough stuff over there.
You never have enough stuff. So I took off the Flash. I replaced the Flash thing with the Indiana Jones Journal.
No, well, why did you replace it? We only mentioned like 4 things.
I mentioned 5 things: Popcast hat, Stargate clock, Popcast mouse pad, Indiana Jones shirt, Indiana Jones journal.
Oh, you didn't mention that much stuff.
Unless the chat all of a sudden wants me to add the Flash thing, you have 30 seconds to say so.
Just get rid of the mouse pad and put in a Flash shirt,
like
or put in the Flash. It's more. I mean, listen, they can always go get.
I have an extra
thing.
4 of these mouse pads. Okay, I gotta get rid of them somehow. Okay,
you do?
No, I'm joking. Ooh, a fedora hat would be awesome. Actually, we should.
I know. I thought about that. That's yeah. So John Burns super chat. Thank you, John. $2.79. I bought an amazing fedora hat for my Uncle Buck. Yes,
that's right.
He does the Uncle Buck thing. I love that. Yeah, fedora hat would be cool. Maybe we'll get one of those one week.
It belongs in a museum.
Who wants a bullwhip?
Oh, Michael Nemo's here. Michael Nemo. When do you want to do his spin?
At the end. We'll do it at the end. With
stick around, Mike, so we can do your spin because you won on Monday.
We ready to talk Strange New Worlds?
You can see. You're right. You're right. You know what's funny? Thank you, whoever said that. I gotta correct the hat thing. I gotta make sure that it's separate.
What do you mean?
Because, I want to see if they win Brian or Shane's hat.
Oh, I mean, we should let him pick.
No.
This is what are you trying to force people to get?
I'm tired of you. I feel like some people pick your shit just to spite me at this point.
I mean, I would.
I know. All right.
We should offer up a Terry Trek hat one week.
All right, next week.
Yeah.
I mean, you really dig the Terry Trek thing. I like the Star Trek Legacy more. Not that I don't like Terry. I like Terry. I just like the Star Trek Legacy looks cool.
Well, listen, it just doesn't. It may look cool, but it doesn't fucking exist without Terry Matalas.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's talk about. You want to the UFO thing or Flash next?
No. We got to talk Strange New Worlds. Top of the hour, babe.
Oh my god. I don't know why. I'm losing it today. Guys, I have had a crappy day. I'm so glad I'm here today, but I'm telling you, and I feel like this sense of relief because I had this like great burden on me this morning. I'm trying to get the graphics ready. I'm trying to get the video stuff ready. I'm trying to create all this stuff for the stream. I'm also trying to like market our video that it's not doing well for some reason about Shaw. And I'm trying to adjust that. Yeah, the Shaw video is not doing well, so I'm like playing with thumbnails. I look at the time and I'm like, fuck, it's 10 a.m. I gotta go to the shop because they're gonna deliver that thing. I'm like, oh wait, first I gotta put the stream. I gotta schedule the stream. But then I'm like, I don't know what to put on the thumbnail. And I'm working on this thumbnail for like an hour. It took me way too long. And I just sort of went with it. And I had this great burden. I go to the shop and I'm waiting. And the guy shows up right at the very tail end. I have like minutes to get there. My family's been waiting I only have one car right now. My family's been waiting in the car for me for like an hour. I install it. I get here with minutes to spare. And Shane's like, don't forget, we gotta update the ticker. I'm like, fuck. I'm updating the ticker.
Guys, can you tell that Brian can't afford therapy?
Yeah, you're my therapy.
This is the therapy session.
But to be fair, now that I'm here and everything is in the ether, I feel much better.
Good. Well, and I'm glad you do. So here, listen, guys, if you haven't, please, seriously, if you guys haven't, I'm not sure exactly why. I don't know if it's because we hadn't put out a video in a few weeks, but over on the Prime channel, we put out the 11 ways that Shaw can be brought back. And we believe one of those 11 ways will definitely be the way that Terry Matalas will bring him back for Star Trek Legacy. If you haven't had a chance to go watch that video, please go watch it and support it, share it out. Because that should be doing way better than it is, considering how many people are excited for Star Trek Legacy. So give that a shot when you get a chance.
I love the new animation for the like. It's like
what?
When you like something, it's like
it makes you feel good.
Yeah, little boost of like dopamine. Just That felt good.
The very last item, the last thing we talk about on that video is our favorite way to bring Shaw back. So when you check that out.
Okay. All right. So speaking of Strange New Worlds, so the first episode did come out. It's a weird time we're living in, and I know this is gonna bleed into my Flash thing a little bit, but I gotta say it. We're in this time right now where it seems like we just can't enjoy anything. Like, so there's criticism where you're criticizing the craft or the story or whatever, right? And then there's like the extreme nitpicky stuff where you're complaining about stuff that really doesn't detract from the overall viewing experience. And I'm not an advocate for Strange New Worlds here. Like, if you look at our review of the first episode that we put out this morning, and not very many people have seen it for some reason, but if you do look at it, you'll see that I'm not an advocate for Strange New Worlds. In fact, I disliked the first episode, and I also disliked the second episode for the most part. I don't really actually enjoy it until the third episode, which if you stick around, you'll see why in a couple weeks. But bottom line is, we are getting some like really. It's like we can't even enjoy the bad about something. Like, everything has got to be some angry, I don't want to use the word toxic because it's such a stupid word, but it feels really toxic the way we talk about literally everything now. And maybe it's because we're in this relationship with Hollywood that we should not be in anymore. Maybe we married Hollywood in our youth and we enjoyed Star Wars and Star Trek and Transformers and all these various IPs, and we fell in love with these stories that Hollywood gave us. And then Hollywood got abusive, and they started beating us. And first we made excuses. Oh, it wasn't their fault. They didn't have the budget. No. I fell down the stairs. No. It was my fault for not showing up to the theater, whatever, right? Slowly we became bitter with Hollywood, and Hollywood, because of Hollywood's many failings, and now we see Hollywood making a little bit of a course correction, and we're just like, F you. We're still in the relationship.
Well, what's the course correction?
I mean, we're seeing little course corrections. Like, I know you think that Picard season 3 was generally loved by everyone, but that is not what I saw. Really? I did not see. No. We saw our fans loved it. We loved it. The critics that we know love it. But there were entire hit pieces about it out there. People complained about the littlest, stupidest nonsense possible.
A very small majority of people. I think, the minority of people they're talking about. Listen, when a show's great, a show's great. There are people who don't like House of the Dragon, but that's a fucking great show. That's it. I mean, it's a great show. So you listen, you're always, what Rotten Tomatoes score is 99%? It never is. You're always going to have detractors. But I'm curious as to what the evidence is that Hollywood has turned itself around, because I have not yet seen quality entertainment back to back yet.
Well, I do have evidence on that, but that's going to bleed into the Flash thing. So I want to make
I see. Okay.
I want to make this point for Strange New Worlds. Here's our review put out this morning. Overall, we actually didn't like this episode, or at least I didn't. It
ended up positive overall.
It did. It ended up with a 1, a plus
overall
1
score of 1,
right? Which it could be worse, right? Let me get to it. It could be worse, but overall it was a plus 1, and I guess that's okay. But it's not negative, but it certainly wasn't great from our perspective. That said, though, I believe that there's criticizing a show, and there's like outwardly, before even watching it, just lambasting it to death. And I don't know. It's if you're always crying wolf, then at some point, even when no one will believe you. Like, you're gonna lose audience eventually if all you ever do is cry wolf. The sky is always falling. The wolf is always in the meadow. Like, listen, it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's got problems, but like, coming out with reviews on something you haven't even seen yet is silly. You shouldn't do that. people like, I think that us as Trekkies and as fans of these things have to at least get, just like with Picard, we got to give it a shot. And if it's bad, it's bad, great, but we got to give it a shot. We don't just immediately go to like, you know what, F this noise. And if you look at the Paramount YouTube page, it's evident that that's a lot of fans are really just signed off on Star Trek when they got 75,000 views. Like, bro, that I know that sounds like a lot of views, but like that's not a lot of views.
Not for them, it's not. No, not for a Star Trek product.
It's bad.
It's not good. I hear what you're saying, and hopefully people have done what we've done, and they've gone out and they're watching it, and then they're reviewing it. And we can't control what some people are going to do. The news media is exactly like this. The news media only talks about negative, terrible, awful things, because unfortunately, as human beings, we tend to rubberneck at the traffic, at the accidents.
Right.
When things are good, we just kind of cruise on. It's when, there's going to be a little bit of drama, a little controversy that we pay attention, unfortunately. Well, the good news is that there's going to be some controversy for Strange New World season 2. So there's some good things and there's some bad things, and we're going to kind of go over them now. If you want to see the full breakdown of Strange New World season 2, episode 1, it's one of the videos on this channel. You can click on it afterwards after you see this here.
Video.
Yeah, and just check it out.
I'll put a link in the description too for people watching this after the fact. Yeah, and we're gonna move on from this. We're doing the Strange New Worlds reviews every week, and they're not all. Our reviews are not like this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, everything's bad, this is bad, this is bad. Okay, bye. Like there's a dynamic. There's dynamic to it. There's things we like. There's things we dislike. We explain why we dislike things. We explain when we like things. And sometimes we actually have a debate where we'll convince each other, to go another way because maybe we didn't see it that way or whatever. It's a dynamic process. And I'm not asking for everyone to have that process, but I do believe that we would enjoy things better as a whole if we looked at everything, if we attempted to ingest our entertainment in a way that wasn't already set up for like this confirmation bias. It's just, and we're going to talk about with the Flash and Indiana Jones. It just seems like such a sort of a shitty way to live,
Yeah, I don't understand it because that's not the way we live. So I don't get it. We don't, but it's hard to understand other people's motives. Sometimes it's monetarily, a lot of the stuff you're seeing, Brian, is stuff that people are creating because they get paid for it. And so in a lot of cases, people are no different than the news media. They're just talking about things negatively because that's what gets them views. So let's start off with a positive for Strange New World season 2, huh? The first thing I want to mention is the visual effects team has just done a tremendous job.
Yeah.
With Strange New Worlds, from the title screen, which is just beautiful, to the opening sequence that shows the Enterprise at Space Dock. It's the first time I've seen Space Dock in a way that actually makes sense to me. Being an old Navy guy who was attached to many piers and many dockings, that the way they showed us actually makes sense with the platforms and the way for people to exit and the different things that they have set up. It really looked like you could set up a series of ships there, and they did a really good job of that.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. And I really think that the title is good. It has good energy. It kind of gets you ready for something that's going to be exciting. And so I think they've done a really good job with that element of Enterprise, or of Strange New Worlds. Do you want to give it a positive? Go back and forth.
Yeah. I agree that the VFX are very good. I think that the Klingons, the way they look is very good. I also like the planet they were on. I had more positives before you and I watched it a third time and then went frame by frame. When you go frame by something, you notice so much more that you don't like. Or maybe that you do like, but like when something is, on the edge of being like poorly received by you, and you really go into it by detail, I feel like my own sort of confirmation biases are only enhanced when we do that. And
Yeah.
while I like the way the Klingons look, I don't know if I like.
Well, don't go to the negatives. Don't go to the negatives. So Cogitaur 4. So you mentioned it, and this was a positive for you. So
Okay.
Cogitaur 4 looked amazing, right? Explain why you think it looked great.
Well, it looked different. It wasn't
Right.
It wasn't the forest in Montreal or the desert in California. It was an actual alien planet. It wasn't.
Awesome.
It
Yeah.
wasn't just a random place that every other studio uses constantly to record alien worlds. Like, I love Stargate, but dude, Stargate has like 3 places: desert, forest,
Right.
ice. That's it.
Well, and this actually had, tall, rock structures that impossibly, based on gravity, could stand that way, which makes it strange. And so it really fits in well with the title of the show, right?
Yeah, I thought it had something to do with the dilithium or something. I didn't think about it very hard.
I don't know, but it doesn't look like, it looks like a foreign world, which is what we want to see in Star Trek.
Right. And you know what? From the very beginning, in season 1, I gotta say the worlds always looked that way. Remember that very first world with the really good aliens? Like, their makeup was amazing, and it was like purple, and like it looked alien, and it didn't look alien where it was like cheesy alien. It looked like, oh, that can be a real world with real people and a real society. They've really done that well.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire series, I believe they've done that very well, in my opinion.
I agree as well. Another positive, I think, is Dr. M'Benga. I really, really like his character. I don't know if it's because he's just calm, cool, and collected, if he seems very,
right,
like he always seems to be doing the right thing.
Yeah,
he always seems to have the right motivation. He's a badass. Obviously, he can fight. We learned.
Yeah. I wanted to have a problem with him, but the more you liked him, I felt like the more I liked him. It was very interesting.
Really?
At first I was like judging the whole drug thing. I'm like, come on with the drug thing. But then you were like,
that was funny.
That was badass. He had PTSD. I'm like, you know what? I think it sort of was badass. I'm like, hey, look what he's doing here. This is pretty cool. I'm like, you know what? This is pretty cool. And now I'm like, all right, M'Benga's sort of cool. All right. Yeah, So the problem was, like, I went into that portion of the scene already in like a bad place. So it was hard. I didn't see the good that M'Benga was bringing to the screen. And Chapel, like, throwing Klingons around was like,
it was crazy.
Yeah, I look, I want to criticize that because, come on. But I also think that's like, come on. I don't know.
Well, because she took a magic medicine.
Right.
Or, and what's funny, it's interesting, is another thing I'm not sure if it's a positive or a negative, but I'm going to put it on the side of positive for now. There are multiple things in this show that they haven't given us answers to, and that we want answers to. Right. Like, for example, what was that green shit they put in their body that made them like give them, shields or body, whatever the hell it is.
Do you find it sus that M'Benga's just walking around with this crap in his pocket?
In his pocket? Yeah, no, that's
like ready to go. That's weird.
It makes me think that they used it in the war.
It makes me also think that maybe M'Benga is going to have a drug problem at some point.
If you watch the review, you'll see Brian going down the rabbit hole.
I'm serious though. Like, think about it. Think about this. He has PTSD. He feels powerful with this thing. He's able to get things done. Look, I can see, even as a doctor who understands the negative side effects, not me not being a doctor, him, I can see the justification in thinking that as a doctor, as a medical professional, you can manage your addiction or your admission, and maybe even wean yourself off when you have to. But then I need to take this so I can be the best doctor that my crew needs. I can see that, bro. I can see that becoming a thing.
Okay.
Like Dr. House.
Yeah.
Like the geniuses that understand the insane risk when it comes to these drugs still justify it because of, well, for them, selfless reasons, but ultimately
they're humans.
Selfish.
Yeah.
And they're human.
They're all human beings.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're right. And so, the positives, I love the fight scene. It was because, if Nurse Chapel was beating up Klingons without that stuff, I would be like, this is BS. But the fact that she had, extra hit points and could do that. And, they all Starfleet people are trained to fight. So it made sense. I know it's silly to think, but listen, if you give me a logical explanation for something, I will believe you. Like if you give me, I'm like, okay, I accept it.
Right.
I accept it.
Yeah. If you write in the story where it adds up, where it has a reality that I can buy, like, okay, I'll give you that benefit. I'll do that for everyone.
The other thing they haven't explained yet is M'Benga and La'an's thing where they swipe their greeting that they do. They've been doing it since season 1.
Well, I found out what that was.
You did?
Yeah. They were in they were actually part of the same baseball league on Earth.
Stop it. Are you foolish? Come on, man. Don't tell me you know what it is. And then
don't know.
Give me wait. Yeah. This is how you give baseball signs. Swing away. Okay, here we go. I used to do that a lot. It was a take, bunt. It was take on the hat, bunt on the ear, and steal on the chin. So it was TBS, right? And then you had a wipe away sign. If you guys are, baseball signals are just absolutely fascinating. If you've never,
I joined a softball league a few years ago to lose weight, and one of the
and you drank a bunch of beer. Yeah, I got it.
No, I don't drink beer.
That's what softball leagues do, though.
No, I know. So the only time I ever drink beer, by the way, is when I'm eating a food that will complement the beer. Like I'll drink wine with fish. I'll drink a Stella with steak, that kind of stuff. I don't drink just to get drunk. But dude, I remember being on base, and the base coach was like, and I'm like,
is there something wrong with your face?
I don't know what he's saying. I didn't know what he was saying, so I was like,
you were doing it back to him.
He's like,
yeah, he probably should have explained it to you before you got out there.
I'm doing. He's like, he was getting really mad at me, and then I see him go over to the guy who invited me into the league, and he's like,
"Did you not tell him the signs?"
I wasn't taking it seriously, and so I ended up having to leave. Like no one wanted me to be there. I was too much. I didn't take this. Apparently, they take it really seriously, and I'm like, I thought we were just here to play baseball and have fun. I don't know why it's such a big deal.
Yeah, no. So another positive I think was overall positive, especially because of the screen presence is Carol Kane. So she plays Commander Pellion, which we learn in this show, and I think her screen presence is a positive. Her energy is a positive. What she does in the episode, I think, is going to be on the negative side when we talk about that. But I do think overall having Carol on the show is not better than having Hemmer. Let's be clear.
No.
But since we don't get Hemmer as a choice, then having Carol there is okay.
And I'm recognizing that is feeding into my negative bias. When I watched it the first time, I was like, I mean, she's fine, but she's not good, and that's what I was thinking the whole time. I'm like, she's not very good. She's just whatever. I mean, I like Carol Kane. I like the actress, but I'm like, I don't like this role. I don't know why they had to pick why they had to do another race of people and all this stuff. I'm realizing now on watch 3 that it's because I'm mad that they got rid of Hemmer. Like, bottom line is I'm mad that they got rid of Hemmer. I don't know why she had to replace him. Ultimately, though, she's not bad. She's actually pretty endearing and charming. And I think she's going to make a great engineer if they don't kill her off, too. I have this fear that I'm going to end up liking her, and then on episode 7, they're going to kill her off.
I don't know if they're going to kill her. They really going to have a hard time going from another chief engineer until they get to Scotty. Because Mr. Scott's next. I mean, it's just the way it has to be. So
it better be.
They can't be bringing in a bunch more of these chief engineers. So keep her around a little while. That's fine. I'm trying to get the rest of the positive. He should be. He absolutely should be next.
Okay. All right.
Who else? I mean, we're getting close.
I don't know, but if you told me after Hemmer died, we thought it was going to be Scotty too, and then it was not.
Well, you already have Uhura, who, by the way, spent 7 or 8 years before we even get to TOS. If Uhura is there the whole time, she's an ensign and a JG maybe for a long time because she's a lieutenant on the original series.
Oh, wow.
So she spends a long time as a junior officer, I got to tell you.
Oh, she's the original Harry Kim.
Harry Kim would have been advanced quickly had they not been in the Delta.
Yeah, right. I saw an interview. I saw an interview with Garrett Wong on StarTrekMovie.com, and he still talks about the fact that he would have been captain. If we would have continued that series, I would have made captain.
Not in the series, buddy.
Like, listen, bro, it's been over for a while. I feel you, dog. Like, you guys sort of shaft here, but I mean, the only reason he stayed on the show and they didn't kill him off is because he made that 100 top 100 sexy actor list. Remember that?
That's right. They were going to either get rid of him or Kess.
They were going to get rid of him,
and he got the sexy actors.
He was on like Maxim. He was like number 51 on Maxim hottest actors list, and they were like, "Oh well, we gotta keep Garrett Wong."
Right, right. And to be honest with you, they kept the right person because I was glad they got rid of Kess.
Yeah, I was over Kess for.
She played.
Sure.
I mean, she did her thing, but they played her out. I mean, she was done.
I'm sorry, Wang, not Wong. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
And we got a super chat from Bill John Burns. I'm sorry to cut you off there, Shane. I apologize.
No, it's all right.
I'm a little scattered today. John Burns
always cut me off for John Burns. Always cut me for John.
Well, yeah. Don't tell John Burns that he's gonna start just spamming. John Burns for $6.99. Give Todd Stashwick his own ship. I'm listening from commanders to commodores. Send me your questions. Why should Kelsey Grammer have all the fun?
I loved Kelsey Grammer in Star Trek, man. I love Kelsey Grammer in every damn thing he does, all the way back from when he did Cheers and Frasier, but he was in Star Trek. And yeah, I think if Todd came back, we go through in the video, like what we would like to see him come back, but ideally it would be best if he was somehow a thorn in the side of Seven. Even though they've come to this like reconciliation, it would be great if he was still able to like sarcastically harass her and sometimes be right, sometimes be wrong.
Right.
So maybe an admiral, maybe an admiral over Seven.
Someone said it's really simple. He just didn't die because they didn't. You're right. They didn't show his death on screen, and there's a very common sort of TV rule. If you don't see the death, then it probably didn't happen. No matter what characters say happened, if you don't see it, it probably didn't happen. And we didn't see the death.
Well, the problem around that one though is that the meeting with Tuvok and Seven takes place a year later, and they're still talking about him as if he's dead. So they don't say the word that he's dead, but
say he's dead, right?
They don't say it, so that you can get around it, but there's definitely the impression that he's not with us anymore. So yeah, I mean, I think that's one option, but that's not the option they're going to choose, and I'll tell you why. Because Terry Matalas, and if you go watch that video, it's kind of funny. He talks about it. Him and Todd have like come up with the idea, the way he's going to come back, bring Shaw back, and it gives them chills when they talk about it. It gets them so excited that they get chills at the way they're going to bring him back. So I can promise you it's not going to be just, he didn't die.
No, I'm hoping,
because that doesn't give you chills, right?
I'm hoping he's an emergency engineer hologram because I suggested that. And I have it on tape of me suggesting that. And if it happens, I'm going to pull that tape out.
You're going to take credit for it?
I'm going to take credit. I'm going to run the tape back and be like, wait a minute. Don't forget who suggested that first to you, Terry, right here.
So now you've just guaranteed that it's not going to happen. Because Terry's like, I'm not letting Brian take credit for that.
He's
not going to take my suggestion either, which was the Genesis device. That was my idea.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell when you suggested that he didn't like that. He was like, "Oh, maybe."
No, he didn't say that. No. Don't be playing it like that.
I don't think he liked that. He was like, "I don't know about that, man."
Yeah, he also said the same thing about your idea.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, John Burns. Let's go ahead, Shane.
Oh, so the other positives I would say is, let me give a Spock positive here. So Spock really did handle the interaction where Mbenga and Chapel are on the fake starship, the fake Starfleet ship, and he knows they're on board, yet he has to destroy it. And I thought it was handled just the way Spock in TOS would handle that situation. By doing what needed to be done. He made the comment, hey, they made their choice. They chose their lives over starting another war. It's logical, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. That's the way Spock is supposed to be. And throughout the entire thing, and he waited till the absolute last moment to destroy the ship in hopes that they would get away, which is something also that Spock would do in TOS without being emotional about it. So
right.
there are some negatives there, and he did get a little emotional, but we'll save that. Can you think of any more positives after that? Klingons look good.
I already said that.
Okay, you did. That's right.
And that's about it. At first I was sort of cool with him getting the loot, and now I'm not, so it's no longer a positive.
Well, it's cool that he has the loot. Like, I think that's a positive that he has the loot. It's just how he got the loot. Maybe he's not positive. Yeah.
Not good. What else? Yeah, there was no Pike.
I really want to give it all the positives before.
I'm trying.
That's probably it.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
Okay, so let's hit some of the negatives. Just going back to the top. There's hardly any Pike in this episode. Strange New Worlds was one of those shows that was going to be great because we got Captain Pike. Right. Honestly, that's what it was exciting about it. We were, if you think back to Discovery, we were pretty pissed off about the way they had brought Spock back.
Right.
We weren't terribly happy about it. What we were super happy about was okay Pike, okay Una, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now in this episode, there's no Pike, no Una. Very little. You get a little bit of Pike at the beginning, a little bit of Una, and then they're gone.
Right.
And so that was a little bit of a disappointment. The fact that, go ahead.
No. Also, Spock, when he gets this problem, he doesn't call his captain.
Right. So
it's not like he's not just like, it's not that Pike is just gone. It's like Pike can't be in the episode. He can't be a part of the resolution, or he can't be a part of the growth or in any way. It feels like they purposely didn't want Pike to have any involvement in this. And they could, and if that was the case, they could have made it. Then we're Trekkies. We're going to ask why Spock is not calling his captain. So
before you steal the ship, right?
Have a thing where he tries to, and like it says like out of range or whatever, interference,
so
something,
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, like, so Pike was basically going off for 2.5 days to go, and he's going to go fight for Una. He's going back to her home world to find a prosecutor who can help her. So he gives command to Spock, and Spock's nervous because apparently his emotions are overcoming him because of what happened when he attacked the Gorn. I guess he had to let his anger out in order to be able to defeat the Gorn. Yeah. And now he hasn't been able to bottle up those emotions since.
Let out your anger.
So he's confused or concerned, and but he decides when La'an's message comes in with the he decides that he's going to steal the ship. Now there's a couple more negatives before that. Brian got to there, and we'll go backwards to him.
Sorry,
but it's okay. But Pike's in a shuttlecraft. There's no reason why he couldn't have been like on a secure line to Captain Pike. We got a message from La'an. We want to go save her.
And they even say that it's in an advanced shuttlecraft. Like they even say it's the newer models. So like it's capable of more. Like it's.
And if they didn't want Pike to, if they wanted Spock to make this on his own decision without Pike, they should have at least had him make a call or say I couldn't reach him, because that's what Starfleet would do. They give the courtesy to their commanding officer. Right. And this is part of the whole chain of command. There is still one of the negatives of Strange New Worlds is this loosey-goosey kind of chain of command. They listen to each other more because they like each other and respect each other than they're required to.
Right.
And that's a little bit of a negative. But just pulling it back a little further. So the Enterprise is in space dock for an inspection. Mm-hmm. And the people who come on board to do the inspection, that's the job. I don't know why they're under an inspection, but you can tell that the inspection is very hostile.
Right.
Like for whatever reason, the crew, the bridge crew is not happy that they're being inspected. And they're very possessive of their workstations, which, I mean, it's an interesting element to add to get some different kind of emotion into the episode, like to have this, but it didn't really make any sense to the episode. Like, what was the point of being mad that these guys were asking them not to do? It didn't make any sense. other than perhaps to show how tough these girls are on the bridge. I mean, right?
Right.
What was
and
was
of
there any
course,
other reason?
Of course, it's like this like emasculated sort of portly guy, with no spine, no real backbone, like it's there's no actual there wasn't like an actual semblance of a manly figure. It was just a bunch of
right. Which we find lacking.
I don't want to say this to be rude, but like, no offense to the actor, and he's probably just acting what he's given, but he, what's the term? Like, he just reeks of soy boy, like just like not in any way masculine, no alpha characteristics whatsoever, no, like in regular Star Trek, you have all the archetypes represented, right? So you would have had one of the characters push back a little bit, maybe in a funny, cheerful way or something. Not like, but just like bowing down to this like weird possessive attack. It's just it's weird to me. It's weird and doesn't.
That's one of the negatives, though. That we're going to talk about this when it comes to Commander Pelion. But that is one of the negatives: is that in order for someone to be to win, they require someone else to lose. So in order for you to lift up Uhura and Ortegas, on the bridge, they needed to, diminish the men who were, basically saying, can I inspect your workstation? And so perhaps there's a storyline we don't understand. Perhaps they're being inspected, under duress. They didn't want to be inspected, but then shame on the writers and the showrunner for not letting us know that that's what was supposed to be going on. So regardless, it's a plot hole or it's a problem or it just doesn't make sense in general. So that's an issue.
I agree.
One of the next issues is, in my opinion, M'Benga giving Spock the Vulcan loot. I just don't think that the Vulcan loot is something that Spock would have been using as a child on Vulcan. It's something that he probably would have been brought up on, not something that would be introduced by the Doctor and the Enterprise to help him with his emotional well-being. And I get they wanted to introduce that thing because it's an important part of TOS. It is. I'm just not sure why it needed to be given to him for the context of emotional stability. That is a very new Trek kind of way of looking at things. Emotional support, it's a really big thing in Star Trek. How about it's just, Spock's maybe just took command of the ship, and he's decompressing and he just grabs it from around the corner or hanging against the wall. Why does it have to be something that M'Benga gives to him? Right. There is this there's a problem in this show. That is another negative where Spock is portrayed as a character who needs everyone else to help him. So in TOS, Spock is the expert. Spock is the one that everybody goes to for answers. But in Strange New Worlds, he needs everyone to help him. M'Benga gives him the loot for his mental health. Pelion shows him how to make a coolant leak look real, like he has no idea how to do it. Ortegas teaches him how to say the thing, right? That he's not aware of the thing, despite the fact that he's been on the bridge with Pike, who's been saying his thing for years. Yet he wouldn't know what the thing was.
Right?
Ortegas, do you have a thing?
Such a silly. That's so stupid to me too.
Do you have a thing, Ortegas? Yes, I've been practicing. And this is writers wanting to be funny and wanting to play. And so what they're doing. I liked
your thing though. I did like the vamonos. All right, I like.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it fits for her. It makes sense. But the whole point is that the writers wanted her to say that vamonos. So because they wanted her so badly to say it, they had to screw up Spock a little bit in order for it to make sense. And they didn't care enough about the character to make sure that, well, that wouldn't work for Spock if she did that to him. Why does Ortegas need to teach him what the thing is? Seems like every time we turn, Spock's being taught something by somebody else. Yet Spock is third in command of the ship. He's not an ensign.
Right.
He is third in command of the ship. So anyways.
Yeah, he's third in command. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't like that aspect of it. Now, if you like it, then that's cool. But I don't like that, Spock is a alpha character for me, and I want him to be that way. So that's actually most of the Spock criticisms that I have. The fact that I understand they set up the emotional thing, and so I will accept it. But he is extraordinarily emotional throughout this entire episode, and I believe he gets overwhelmed emotionally at least 8 times, I think, in the episode, and he's crying or watering his eyes like multiple times. So it's like just feels very out of character. And as I've said before, I do feel like they're trying to capitalize on these Spock emotions while they can, and it continues throughout the season, by the way. Other negatives. We did the Commander Pelion thing. We did so when they get to
what was the name of the portly fellow?
It was Burly Inspector. Burly. They named him Burly.
His name was Burly. You guys know what burly means, right? It means like...
It means big.
It means large. Large man.
Yeah, it means large. Yeah. That was funny. Some of the other negatives, I think, you have La'an's doing her thing. That really wasn't a big deal. We made a joke about her burp. It was really gross during the review, which I thought was. But she drank the Klingon under the table. Brian would say a negative was something about the Klingons. Brian, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it seems like the Klingons just feel like this sort of silly punching bag the whole time. And it's hard to really explain. I think it's because I like Klingons. I like the race. Now, I'm in this weird place. Like, would I watch an entire show about Klingons? Hell no. That would be atrocious. But they're like paprika. Like, they're like really good spice to every story. They fill out a crew nice. Like, their energy has always been sort of a masculine, sort of, maybe not the smartest, but like the most loyal. Like they're like the Drax of Star Trek to me. They're all like that. They're on that, like, a similar level. Like, they're maybe not the smartest race per se, but like they have this like level of loyalty and honor that is really lacking in our culture today. And maybe this is the way they're treated now, but like watching the Klingons constantly as like the butt of, or the end of a scene as being the guys who just sort of lost was really frustrating.
And Brian and I disagreed on that one, so I didn't really see it as a big problem, but I respect his opinion on it. Some of the other negatives might have been, let's see, go running through it. I don't know if there were any other negatives.
No, that's not true.
What else was there?
Well, no, you're right. I guess we already mentioned most of them.
I mean, the Spock stuff was pretty tough for me because, and I know some people say, well, and we've talked about this before, when you go back to the cage or the menagerie, Spock is definitely has some emotional stuff going on there, and he does his smiling thing, and Spock is a different character in the pilot than what he ends up becoming.
Right.
My problem isn't that they're demonstrating some of his emotions. The problem is that it's the focus on who he is. It's like the whole point. The whole point is focusing on Spock's emotion. That's not what Spock. I mean, they did that the whole first season. Like, could we move on and start to grow the character towards the Spock that we know and love? That, I mean, honestly, when I go back and watch the pilot, when I see Spock do that, I go, because the thing that I love and respect about Spock so much is the difficulty of being a Vulcan, especially a half Vulcan. So when I see this like this, it's like, Ethan Peck's a good actor, but for me, it's just overblown. It's like, I feel like they're just trying to really capitalize on this emotional state, and they're trying to play up that small thing that part of him. He's much more, he's much more of a character utilizing his ability to reason and his, the Vulcan side of him. And they're just not focusing on that hardly at all. And that's frustrating.
Right. Yeah. And I do feel that having watched ahead, I do know that the emotional thing is sort of worked out, or at least I feel like
it's
does.
Not.
No,
it doesn't.
I feel like
it's not even remotely.
No.
Where?
Look.
When? What episode?
the episode that for some reason you dislike so much.
Episode 5, he doesn't work it out.
Yeah, he definitely does.
He's completely emotional through that entire episode. No, he doesn't. And at the end of it, he doesn't suddenly become the Vulcan we know, does he? No. And that has a lot of problems in episode 5. And we're not there yet. And I'm not going to spoil anything with it, but I'm telling you right now, episode 5 does not make Spock better for his character.
Obviously, we're going to disagree on this. I think episode 5 actually adds a lot to Spock, but
it completely screws up TOS. Completely.
Well, when you're going to have to explain how that is, because I don't see how.
I'll tell you afterwards, because because he should be extraordinarily in touch with his human side, and he's not.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay, all right.
Well, it's I have to tell you later.
We'll talk about it afterwards. Look, bottom line is that's it. Like, we do, like, there is some shining moments coming up, and we haven't seen everything. The whole series is not over. There is still good things to be said about this.
There's one more negative.
What is it?
So we get introduced to the Lathanites, which is what Commander Pelion is. It's a new species.
The Lathanites.
And there is a little bit of I would say the negative is, these people have been on Earth, and I guess they apparently just became realized, or just came out is the term that they use.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that, I'm not sure. I mean, they did it because they wanted to do something with this character in future episodes, and not because, so it was kind of written in as a plot device, this new race that we've never heard of. So, yeah, I would say it's probably a negative. Maybe leans to like the middle, and not a harsh negative, but definitely is not a positive.
Yeah. I do think it's entirely possible that Rob gets his wish, and we get some time travel confirmation of different timelines and all that. I was reading this really fascinating Reddit post right before the entire subreddit went dark, because apparently all subreddits are privatizing right now, which is making it
just
frustrating.
For 3 days.
What?
Just for 3 days.
Yeah, well, 3 days. Yeah, we're on day 3, and it's still going on. So we'll see how long that lasts. Anyways, I was reading this thread where the guy was talking about how, because he saw the trailer, and he saw that Kirk was in the trailer and with Leon, and they were in modern times, and he has this idea of how, like, they can introduce the temporal agency that we got introduced to in Voyager, and sort of explain the extreme differences in Strange New Worlds. And I'm not going to get into it right now, because it would spoil some stuff with the 3rd episode, but the guy is pretty spot on a lot of stuff. So either he watched it, or he's just, or the person that wrote the post is just sort of brilliant. So I hope it's
well. It's I mean, a lot of evidence is pointing towards it. It is factually, when Khan is on Earth is a fact in TOS, and they definitely have gotten that wrong here. One more negative. Sorry, I went through my notes. It looks like it's a possibility that the Federation is going to war with the Gorn. And at the end of this episode, it has to be a negative, and it has to be a negative because we don't, Starfleet doesn't know who the Gorn is until Kirk is the captain. When we get to the episode of Arena, so for Strange New Worlds, if you're enjoying it, it's no problem. But from a canon point of view, it's difficult to have these, really huge errors for the sake of wanting the character to be in the story. Brian and I talked about it. Instead of having the Gorn, they could have had the Xindi. They could have had any race from Enterprise as the potential people they're going to war with.
Right.
Would have been fine. But the Gorn is just a huge no-no. And so it has to be a negative, even though there's nothing we can do about it. There's going to be more of it coming forward, obviously. Mm-hmm. But in my eyes, it has to be a negative.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I hear you. All right. So we're going to wrap this up. There's some super chats, though, that match this up. First off, Dr. Sarah Gardner. Thank you, Dr. Sarah Gardner. Dr. Gardner. I actually looked up your name the other day, and you are a character in Stargate, which makes a lot of sense because your image has a Stargate behind it, which is cool.
Very awesome.
You're right about Spock and Pike. Are you done coughing?
Sorry, go ahead.
You're coughing directly in the mic as I'm talking.
I did cover my mouth, but that's fine.
I mean, you covered the mouth and you're like, oh! That's my bad.
Is that better?
You need to have that mute button. Don't you have a mute button on your mic? All right. From Dr. Sarah Gardner. You're right about Spock and Pike. Are they helpless? ? Spock reminds of a special needs kid that wet his pants every time he gets mad.
Yeah, really good point. I mean, I think I made this comment during the review where I said, I mean, Spock looks like he's eager for people to tell him he's doing a good job.
Right.
Like the look on his face looks like, did I do right? Did I do the thing correctly? And it's like, Jesus Christ, guys, that's not, I mean, I'm sorry. That's just not, I mean, maybe this is who he was before we got to TOS.
Right.
And it's tough. It's tough. But you know, if you're enjoying it, cool. I just am not enjoying it. I like Ethan Peck. I mean, look, he's Gregory Peck's relative. I mean, Gregory Peck's one of the greatest of all time. And Ethan's doing a fine job with what he's been given. But just, you know, he did the part of the episode where he's like in command of the ship and he's going to go blow up that star. That was all good Spock stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he
Ethan
was in
Peck
command.
Was a massive dick to me in Vegas, so I don't like Ethan Peck. He was a massive asshole. Look, I think his portrayal of Spock is not as bad as maybe other people think. I think he's doing his best with what he's given. I don't dislike it actually, and that's coming from someone who deeply dislikes the person that is Ethan Peck. So
gotcha. Well, I dislike
he was
what
I
dislike.
A massive asshole to me, by the way. You weren't there, but he was.
I know, and you told me, and I get it. Well, you have to tell him why now. I mean, you can't just leave it like.
You're right. Okay.
You can't just leave it with accused.
I'm at the Star Trek convention. I think that Shane had left by then. It was like the last day. I don't know. I remember exactly what happened, but Shane wasn't there. And I'm going around getting, it's called B-roll, right? I'm not sure if you guys do editing, but you need like footage sometimes to put in your video of stuff that's not specifically what you're talking about, but is still tangentially, connected to what you're talking about to fill time. And so I'm getting B-roll. And I want to get B-roll of all the actors. I figured I can use it as B-roll, and I can use it for when Shane is talking in our video where he's talking about the actual actors. So I go meet Pike, and he's Anson Mount. He's very nice. He shakes my hand. He even does that side hug thing during COVID or whatever. And he's like, no big deal. Nice guy. I'm meeting everyone. I'm getting video. Mbenga was really nice. I'm meeting a lot of people. Very nice. Chapel was super hot in person too, by the way. Did not find T'Pring. I looked for hours. Couldn't find her. Anyways, I go to meet Ethan Peck's character Spock, and for some reason Spock is set up in like the grand hall. He has his own little space. Every other actor is in the giant I want to call it the Star Trek Trekkie nerd meat market, where it's like you can buy a bunch of garbage that is not Trek related or is Trek related, and you can talk to actors. That giant hall, everyone else is there, but no. Ethan Peck is by himself. He's in like the grand hall, and he's surrounded by curtains and security guards and whatnot, right? And I'm perusing the section, and I go back there, and I want to get some shots of Ethan Peck, and a security guard literally like puts his hand over my camera and pushes me away, and I'm like, what's going on? So I'm like, I get it. Okay. So I'm going to wait in line. And I waited in line to see. I waited in the line. Listen, guys, I don't wait in line for anything. I would, if you were like, you have to have this shot to live the next day, but you got to wait in this 3-hour line, I'd be like, fuck it, I'm dying. Okay. And I'm going to this line, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait in this line. I'm sorry I'm cursing so much. I'm having a bad day. And I wait in line, and an hour and a half later, I finally get up there. I have my camera ready. I can't take video of them unless I'm paying, right? Okay, that's whatever. I paid for this stupid autograph. I don't care about this guy whatsoever. I have my camera up to get B-roll.
Maybe your attitude is part of why he treated you badly.
You said
I don't care about.
I don't care about any of the actors, really. Like,
Oh, all right.
unless they're nice to me, then my opinion changes. Until I meet
Okay,
them.
so you didn't have that opinion until
No, I have no opinion until I meet a person.
Gotcha.
I don't simp for actors. Like, if you're nice, I'm gonna love you. If you're not, I'm not gonna just like. Until I meet you, I have no opinion. So I have my camera sort of like tangent. It's up here. It's like resting on my shoulder. It's not like really obvious. And I just want to get footage and get my autograph signed by Ethan Peck. Same thing. He immediately points at me and he goes, no, nope, nope. And it's some security guards for Ethan Peck are pushing me out with my camera. And they take my stupid headshot, and I guess he signs it, and they hand it to me outside the little tent.
Oh, so but you know why I think that is? I think you have to pay more to get a picture with him.
Listen,
I think that may be why he did that.
Explain it then. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, to get an autograph and to get your picture with them, like you have to. So they have these things set up where you can actually go later and get your pictures, and those actually cost more.
But the way I was pushed out, and they pulled the autograph out of my hand, they had him sign it, and they gave it back to me, and he wasn't. I couldn't even see him after that moment. It was just like you might as well just thrown the thing at me and said, "Get out of here."
Yeah, that's not cool. They should have just said, "Sorry, sir, you need to put the camera away." And then that would have been it.
Whatever.
But they didn't do that. So
and the way they pushed me out, and then like they pulled the autograph to sign it and shove it back in my face, like as if like I don't know.
Felt like you're being pushed through a cattle call, right?
Yeah, I was basically cattle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And Ethan Peck being set up outside of all the other actors as if he's like somehow more special was like, ugh, gross.
Okay, well and I'm sorry that happened to you. Let's answer Sarah's question now. Oh, we did answer the question. Yeah, okay.
Michael,
thank you for the support, sir. No, we got a John Burns one.
Oh, John Burns. I'm sorry. Did we?
Yeah, it's above Sarah's.
Oh, I'm sorry, John. Oh, Spock's on the bridge when Pike just whips his
thing out. That's what I'm like. My mind wants to. Whip his thing out. Maybe whips his. We know what you're going for, John.
He whips out his hair and.
No, that's not what he's talking about.
I don't know. Thank you, John. From Michael Nemo, just watched Strange New Worlds, season 2, episode 1. Why didn't Chapel call Mabengo doctor instead of, hey?
That's my problem, Michael. Thank you for the support. I don't know why. Star Trek's always been extraordinarily professional, and I pretty much sure the nurses refer to the doctors with some sort of professionalism. Now they do have a relationship of sorts, like a father-daughter thing going on, which, by the way, when they get pushed out of the airlock, she is looking at him very strangely and extraordinarily close, and it felt like I was watching like an inappropriate father-daughter video for a second there.
It certainly felt a little interesting.
It was, yeah. But anyways, I think it was supposed to be an emotional moment because they're going to die maybe. But I think the way the camera was like positioned, it probably should have been more like showing both of their faces instead of her looking longingly into his. And that was a good shot when they get shot out of the airlock though.
Sure.
But good call, Michael. Thank you for the $5. I think you're right on there.
Boulevard Jones sneaks in the stream hero again.
Some people are really good at timing their.
You're really timing it good, Boulevard Jones.
Timing him there. Good job.
He just has this to say. Tholians.
Yeah, they could have used Tholians.
They should have used
as the
Tholians.
bad guy.
Yeah, they should have.
It would have worked. And we don't know a lot about the Tholians, which would have made it even more interesting.
Right.
They could have done the Gorn later. Maybe when they get to the end of TOS. Here's what's crazy. Like TOS only went 3 seasons. Imagine if this keeps going and they end up doing like Spock, the whole TOS crew. We end up with Scotty and Sulu and all whoever these new versions of these characters are. They get to the end of the original series and they have to keep telling the story. Then you go forward with the Gorn and them, being at war with the Gorn. You can do all of that.
Yeah, I agree.
So it would have worked.
I agree. Okay, one more super chat from Michael Nemo. Michael Nemo! The fight scene with the Klingons was just as poorly implemented as the Last Jedi fight with the Imperial Guard, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, the Last Jedi fight was terrible. I will say it at least there was a reason. Like, at least them taking some drugs was a good reason for them to be able to do what they did.
Yeah.
What's the excuse for The Last Jedi? None.
Take drugs.
Drugs are good.
Drugs.
Unless you're my kids listening, drugs are bad.
If you want to beat up Klingons, you need some drugs. Dr. Mamenga says drugs are awesome.
Yeah, watch that review if you guys want to see some funny stuff about Mbenga and drugs. Brian definitely gave us visuals to never forget.
Well, we did find out what was in the drug. It was cocaine and Panera Bread chargers. That's what it was.
That'll do it.
Okay, guys, that's it. We're gonna wrap up this thing. We actually are going to the member section here pretty soon. So I guess we're gonna talk about. Well, you're gonna have to hear my Flash Indiana Jones rant in there because we do have to go there. But before we
no. Go ahead and do your rant now. I think I can go at like 4:15.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because we promised it. It's on the thumbnail. You can't really.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay. All right. Then let's do this. Here's the deal. I don't think we can enjoy things anymore. And maybe I need to repeat that. I don't think us as fans can enjoy things anymore. I think we're sort of screwed. I think that we are in this relationship with Hollywood where we've been at the very first, the first few years of our relationship was great. We enjoyed Hollywood. Hollywood brought home the bacon. They stroked our cheek and they said nice things to us, and we supported Hollywood with our finances and our fandom. Slowly the relationship became abusive. People got put in charge. Capitalism came into play, and they were like, we can make money on franchises that we already introduced, but we can spend less money by actually instead of producing something good, we can get new actors, or we can push an agenda, and we can really drive home, and they're going to watch it anyways because they're Trekkies, they're Ghostbusters fans, they're Star Wars fans. They're going to watch whatever we give them because they're consumers and they are fans. They are Star Trek, Star Wars, name the franchise fans. They're going to watch it. They might complain a little bit, but they're still going to watch it. So let's just produce whatever we want. And there was a little bit of pushback. But then the worst thing for our relationship with Hollywood happened. The streaming services. Because there was a time where we had power in the relationship with Hollywood. We can decide with our money whether or not we wanted to watch Ghostbusters 2016. And they can say we're racist or we're sexist, but bottom line is the movie didn't make no money. And so they can pivot and utilize that franchise and create something that we would actually like that's not forcing any agenda down our throat. Or maybe put some actual effort into it. Hire the right creatives, not just hire their friends that happen to have sex with them in the back of a Taco Bell. Right? But actual work into it. Put actual work into it, right? But then the streaming services happened. And at first we thought the streaming services were good, right? We're already paying for cable. It's $150 a month for everything we want. Well, we can just pay for these few streaming services and get whatever we want on demand. But then more and more streaming services popped up. And then next thing you know, every studio that is worth their salt has a streaming service or some kind of deal with a streaming service. And the same money you were paying on cable, you're now paying for streaming services. And this is when it gets really diabolical. At some point, we had power in the relationship, but we lost all the power when we decided to pay streaming services regardless of the content that they were putting out. We're still paying monthly. We complain about it, but we're not canceling our accounts. And we no longer are buying things a la carte. We're no longer buying the movies a la carte. Instead, we're paying a fee and we're seeing all the garbage in one place or in multiple places. That ripped the free market out of the equation, which was our power. And now they can just continually produce garbage. But when the film industry the theatrical film industry that can usually, bank on $1 billion every July, can no longer produce a superhero movie led by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson without making, a few percent on their return, or Marvel producing the last 3 movies, producing after cost a negative, a red line in their ledger, when the things they couldn't bank on anymore are no longer bankable. I feel like there's a shift in certain studios happening. I feel like the Flash made a shift. I do feel like DC in general, Warner Brothers, with David Zaslav taking over, was attempting to create this shift. Getting rid of the garbage that he knew that fans wouldn't like Batgirl, and other projects that he knew were just complete nepotism, cash grabs, pushing agendas, and putting a lot of effort into these other projects, right? And hiring the right creatives like James Gunn. But we as fans have been hurt for so long that even when everyone is telling us it's great, literally everyone, Tom effing Cruise is like, guys, it's a great movie. You got to watch it. We're like, F you, Tom. Everyone, Terry Crews, name all the Crews. They're all coming out and saying this movie's great. The majority of the YouTubers that you watch are saying, that already saw it, are saying it's great. And then you get the people that didn't get early access who was like, nah, it's garbage. Look at the VFX. Look at this actor. Don't forget Ezra's a monster. And he is. Ezra Miller, the actor, is an idiot. He's a monster. He's the reverse Flash in real life. But I'm not talking about his off-screen crimes. I'm talking about the movie-going experience here, right? The studio has so much garbage to deal with. This movie has been made by 3 separate studio heads at this point. It started with Zack Snyder, and then Walter Hamada, and then James Gunn, and there's a point in there where no one was in charge, and they were just doing whatever they wanted. It's been directed and written, and its VFX were done by 15 different VFX houses. This movie is a hodgepodge of creatives. One main creative, Andy Muschietti, God bless his soul, took all this footage and sat down with James Gunn and produced a movie that is entertaining and fun. There are things that are wrong with it. There are. And you'll notice them when you watch it, if you watch it. But overall, this movie has no agenda, it's checking no boxes. There's no woke nonsense. There's nothing but there's nothing here but pure entertainment. And I'm not saying it's going to win Academy Awards, but goddamn, the studio is sitting here with an actor who is kidnapping kids and taking them to houses that are loaded down with booby-trapped guns and crazy stuff. They have Zack Snyder leaving. Half the fan base is literally out there protesting and threatening violence if they don't bring Superman back. They're fighting with James Gunn, and they're fighting with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and all this stuff. And they're like, we just want this movie to come out, and we can't even market it with our star. We have to go find actors that aren't even connected to the property to say it's good. And they're pouring money, and they're having all these early releases just to try to convince you to go give it a shot. But there's so many people that was like, nah, F that. Look at the way the babies look. They don't look good. That means that this movie's garbage. I'm telling you right now, as your friend, as your YouTuber, as someone who has never lied to you, not on purpose, this movie is a hoot, man. It's fun. It's a fun movie. It's worth the entertainment. It's worth the price of admission. Whatever problems you have is not going to detract from your experience. Go watch it. It.
I withhold my opinion until tomorrow.
So, it's fine. And the Palantir Shane will probably say the same thing. Like, all I'm saying is go check it out. And if you like it, support stuff that has no agenda, There is no agenda here other than we are trying to piece together this insanely broken universe of 500 creatives that couldn't agree on the same thing. Andy Muschietti is honestly, if he is really responsible for putting this together, man, I got nothing but love for this dude. Him and James Gunn once again pull off something that is really special, and it had to have been so goddamn difficult. Honestly, I couldn't even imagine what this guy had to go through to make this work. Ezra Miller is insane. He's an insane person. But if you watch this movie, you're like, damn, Ezra Miller's pretty cool. And then you remember for a brief minute that he kidnapped a 12-year-old and held her at gunpoint. You're like, oh, this guy, that's right. I almost forgot. Fuck. You know what I mean? Like, look, all I'm saying is like the movie itself, the outside antics, all that, is not trying to sell you anything. It's not trying to check a box. It's not trying to replace your favorite characters. It's not trying to swap weird. There's no agenda here. It's just trying to tell a good story. At no point does it ever try to shove anything down your throat other than entertainment. It is exactly what we've been asking for 5 years. It's exactly what Marvel's been working against for the last 2 phases. We have been asking for this since since Endgame, when Marvel started going the opposite direction of what is normal and fan base, and we are still giving it a hard time. And I'm seeing a lot of people nitpicking about the most innocuous things. Look, I'm down to fight the fight. Let's fight the fight together. I don't like the agenda. I don't like all the woke crap. I just want to be entertained. But when I'm entertained, I'm going to be honest. Hey, I'm entertained. There's no weird agenda. There's nothing weird here. It's just a good movie. Or it's just an entertaining movie. Whatever. But when you need to continually nitpick things to death because there's nothing else to talk about, it just feels disingenuous, man.
All right. Now I bet you feel better.
I actually do.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll tell you my opinion, and I appreciate your rant there. I think that it's going to take time for people to be okay with things, to trust again. It's going to take time to trust. They've really taken these superhero movies and shoved them right up our asses. You know, it's been pretty terrible for a while. You know, it's not been good.
It's not been great. No.
It's been a pretty tough experience, and so it takes some time to be like, what I saw, was that good? It's just go back to the Batman. The Batman is a really great example of one of those, like, do we give a shit anymore? Because it's not a bad movie. It's right. Well shot. It's well acted. But when I walked out of that movie, I just didn't care.
I didn't care at all.
And it's like, wow,
it's too dark.
It is dark, but is it that I just don't care anymore? You know, and that's part of the problem. I think it's what a lot of people are going through. And so, you know, without being able just to come out and go, you know, that's where you can't have a review of So then they start picking it apart.
Right.
And so it'll be curious to see. The Flash officially comes out today. Officially.
Right.
Over the next several days, we're going to get the true barometer of this movie. That's the truth. So, you know, come back and see my show tomorrow, and I'm going to give you exactly what I think the Flash is, and from my honest point of view and from my honest take. Brian was going to give you his on Sunday. Right, you're still doing that show?
I'm still planning on doing it. However, I'm getting some pushback, but we'll see. If you see it scheduled on Saturday, then it's happening.
Got it. So, you know, you're going to get
Power Hour, and it'll be with multiple people. It'll be a panel show.
Yeah. So, you know, come back and get those thoughts on it, and we'll give you, you know, the breakdown, because we're watching what a lot of people are saying. And there's a lot of people beating it up right now. Midnight's Edge beat it up. Nerdrotic beat it up. So
I'm not calling out anyone individually. Those are our friends. I like those guys. I trust them. But,
no, it's a group thing. But I'm just saying, like, it'll be curious to see, based on what they said, what I see tonight, because we all kind of typically see things very similarly.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to get that, and we'll let you guys know. Indiana Jones, like, for example, you know, the reason why we had Indiana Jones on the thumb today is because reviews are now starting to come out for people who've seen it that it's not bad.
Yeah.
And these are YouTubers that we typically trust.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know what the other people were thinking. I don't know why they opened a can. But a lot of people are saying that it's a pretty good time. It's a good send off. Really enjoyed it, and I'm like, it's the opposite of what I was expecting for sure.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. You know, we're going to get the truth when it comes out and we actually get to see it, and we're going to tell you guys and share it with you. So hopefully people are just being honest. I mean, it's all we can really do is be honest with how we feel about things. You know, I didn't like Fast X. I didn't like it, and not because it wasn't like a fun sit back and comedy where you can typical thing, but I just hated the way Jason Momoa was portrayed as a character. Couldn't stand it. So that, you know, there's reasons. The Super Mario Brother movie was okay, but it was kind of like, all right, it was nothing special. Cross Spider-Verse, loved it. It was special to me. So everybody's got their own opinion on things.
I liked Mario Brothers more than you did, and I liked Fast more than you did too.
You did, but you're okay sometimes with just, you know, going to eat some popcorn and seeing some fun stuff.
The name of my show is called Popcorn Power Hour. The name of his show is called The Palantir. You do the math, guys.
I just need a little more. I need a little more happening up here between the ears.
Yeah, and I'm like, more explosions, please.
And sometimes explosions are good. I'm really looking forward to Mission Impossible. Like, I feel like that's going to be a great movie.
Tom Cruise just doesn't disappoint nowadays.
Well, I just know how much he put into that movie, and and the fact that he's so pissed off that the IMAXs are being taken up when I think Oppenheimer's taking up all the IMAXs, and Tom's pissed, because he wanted the IMAXs.
Why is Oppenheimer, which seems like a movie that would do better on streaming than in theaters, taking over IMAX?
No. Oppenheimer's gonna blow the top off of
for the 1 minute of footage that would benefit from IMAX. You're gonna have a 2 hour long drama on an IMAX screen. That's not a good idea.
No, you're probably right. Mission Impossible probably will do better on IMAX, but I'm the movie I'm looking forward to the most this year is Oppenheimer. So if that tells you anything about how I feel.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. It's not the movie I'm looking forward to, but
well, I like historical movies a lot.
Sure.
So those are my favorite.
Okay, we're going to the member section pretty soon, but we got some super chats. John Burns. Once again, I got excited when learning Brendan Fraser was in Batgirl. Yeah, I did too, because I like Brendan Fraser. I think Brendan Fraser is one of those guys who, for some reason, was just sort of left behind at some point in Hollywood. And I like that he's getting a resurgence in his career. However, I absolutely despised the idea of Michael Keaton being in this movie with this agenda-driven movie with the race-bended Batgirl. I didn't like it.
You mean Brendan Fraser?
No, I was talking about Michael Keaton.
You said Michael Keaton.
I know. I like that Brendan Fraser isn't. I didn't care if Michael Keaton was in that movie, but I didn't want Michael Keaton's Batman's legacy to be solidified.
Was he in Batgirl?
He was going to be in the Batgirl. Yeah, before the movie was canned, he was in it. He's the one who basically taught Batgirl. He's like he gives Batgirl permission to be Batgirl or something. Whatever it is, I didn't like that. I didn't want my Batman's because Michael Keaton is. I know it came out when I was very young, but he's still my Batman, right? Yeah. It's the first Batman I ever saw that I cared about. I didn't really watch Adam West or whatever. I saw Michael Keaton.
I loved Adam West,
and that's fine. But like my first Batman was Michael Keaton, like for sure. So I didn't want Michael Keaton being a part of that woke agenda nonsense. So when David Zaslav came in with his axe and put it to death, I was like, "Yo, give Zaslav a reach around for that one. Thank you, bro."
John Burns also for $2.79. Thank you, John. You forgot Michael Keaton is Batman at 71. Yes. No freaking doubt, right? He looks good. I can't wait to see it. I mean, he's a big reason why I'm coming tonight. I obviously I go see the movie anyways, but he's one of the reasons why I'm excited about watching the movie.
Yes, and I'll tell you, they don't try to make him look younger. They don't try to shy away from his age in this movie. Like, it's very clear that he's old, and it works.
Yeah,
that's all I can say about it. Kyle Proch. I'm sorry, Kyle. Kyle Proch. My bad.
Kyle Proch.
Kyle Proch. Thank you, Kyle. The problem, I think, is that they're asking us to spend $20 $20 to see the second to last to the Snyderverse, which they canceled. I'm gonna go. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this. All the marketing they've done and all the money they've spent, they could have done a lot better by just announcing what this movie is. It is the vehicle in which reboots parts of the universe to fit James Gunn's new creative goals. It is not the end of the Snyderverse, and this is coming from someone who saw it. It's not the end of the Snyderverse. In my opinion, it's a celebration of and an evolution of into something that's new. And I'm going to call it the James Gunnverse. Because I don't know what else to call it.
I now must kill Brian.
Why? It's not.
You're not supposed to tell me. That is very spoilery.
No, it's not.
Very. Yes, because I don't want to know that they set up for something new.
We talk about every comic book movie does that. That's silly.
Yeah, but okay, that's right. I was going into this wondering that question. You just answered it for me.
Well, no, I have already said that 1,500 times. Every time we talk about the Flash, I'm telling you that it's a recreation. Yes,
I didn't want to talk about Flash today because of this reason. Brian's already seen.
There is no spoilers here, but look, it's not the end of anything. It is done correctly, and it's done in a way that keeps it keeps it going.
We can talk about this weekend. We can talk about what's going to happen with the Flash tomorrow and Sunday and all that good stuff after people have had a chance to see it.
Yeah. From John Burns, 279. I hope Ronald Coleman and Critical Drinker hear this.
Yes. I know Critical Drinker watches the show. I don't know if Ronald Coleman does though.
Yeah, who is Ronald?
He does some great shows. Ronald Coleman does some of those really good documentary style things that we like to watch.
Oh, okay,
that I like to watch.
Cool. I'll check him out.
Look at Boulevard Jones trying to hold on to his stream hero there for $1. Thank you, Boulevard, for the sticker. He's like, I'm gonna hold on a little longer. I think I've got the timing going. It might be pretty close to being the longest.
It might be pretty close. Yep, I gotta check.
Then John Burns for 279 here. The medium is the message at Shane. Yes, the medium is the message, John. Thank you for that.
I like that.
I agree with you. Yeah,
I like that.
And also from John Burns for 279. Thank you, John. Appreciate all these supports. Guns Cinematic Universe. Head back to the 80s. Dude, there ain't nothing wrong with heading back to the 80s. I will do that all day long. What's the music that people listen to most today? 80s music. Still to this day.
I'm down for
40 years later.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to spin for Michael Nemo and also for our stream hero today.
Which I will tell you right now who it is. It's funny because John's Burn could have taken over for an extra penny. He would have taken over.
Yeah. Right. Well, I don't know if he did. He didn't hold it at all today, did he?
No, he didn't. Okay. Here we go. Let me do the stream hero. Where is that? There it is.
So do you have to add it up or something, or?
Hold on. We're gonna do Michael Nemo first, then I'll do the other part.
Okay. So Michael's gonna get a shot at the price. Since he didn't get it last week, he'll get first roll this week.
Yes. Okay.
What's in the white thing? What's the white pie?
Let me find out.
If you land there, you die.
Yeah. Listen, if you land on the white, it's over. I'm sorry.
It's a new movie coming out by Shane and Brian.
Let me fix it, actually. Okay. I was like, okay. I don't know why I did that color. Here we go. There it is.
Oh, all right.
All right.
So which one is the I can't read it. So which one is the Indiana Jones thing?
The Indiana Jones is purple.
All right, cool. That's the little journal. Okay, cool.
Yes, the journal is purple. The shirt is a really bad color. I really should have thought that through.
Who's the winner of the stream today? Do you know?
I'm going to tell you right now, but I have to do this first.
Got it.
There you go. Read it better now. All right, here we go. This is for Michael Nemo, who won this on Monday. Right. Here we go. Good luck, Michael Nemo. I hope you don't get the journal.
I hope you get it, Michael.
Rude.
No, you're being rude.
You're being rude. Here we go.
You're rude. Where
Got the goddamn journal.
You got the journal.
You got the journal.
Good job,
You
Michael.
got the journal.
You won the journal.
That's so BS.
Well, at least you guys know it's not rigged.
Oh, I'm so
That's
annoyed right
great.
now. Okay. All right. I'm glad it was you. I'm glad it was you, Mike. All right. Let's
Wait, who's the winner of the next one?
I'm gonna find out right now. Give me a second,
Okay.
bro.
Well, when you do, I've got another announcement to make.
No, don't do that. Don't announce another journal.
I have a third journal.
Oh my God! You got to be kidding me, bro. This is so dumb. Not cool.
Well, listen, the other person who it wouldn't have been fair, right? So let's just say Michael took it off, and whoever won the stream today is like, well, crap, now I don't get the journal, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Brian. I was actually going to give that one to you until Michael won this one.
Wow. Thanks, Mike.
Guys, Brian really wants the journal. I'm gonna have to get it for him for his birthday.
Oh, Boulevard Jones is looking pretty close here, dude.
How close?
It's always so. You guys make it always so close where I have to actually do math. Thanks.
Well, who's it in the running between?
It's between Christopher Mays and Boulevard Jones. Everyone else
How
is
close?
pretty far away. It's close. I'm adding up the marks right now.
We need a faster way to do this.
Yeah, well, we need like an automated way for sure.
It's funny. Our wrenches are supposed to be doing this for us. We're gonna. I have an unlimited number of journals. Mark Major's like, Shane has 16 journals. I had a feeling it was going to be a popular item, guys. Just to be honest.
Yeah, Christopher Mays won. All right, Christopher, I'm sorry. You got close.
How close was it?
Within 4 minutes.
4 minutes. All right. Well, we're sorry we didn't have more to talk Boulevard Jones, but perhaps next week you'll get it. Very close.
Sneak in there again. Yeah,
congratulations.
It was really close. It was like within 4 or 5 minutes.
All right. Well, congratulations to Christopher. And we're going to spin for him. Same items on the board. And then we'll go to the member stream.
All right, Christopher, here we go. Boom. Oh, yeah. You get Shane's Popcast hat. Enjoy that trash.
Ooh,
I mean,
trash.
hat.
What?
You didn't get the journal. It's my journal.
Oh, by the way, Brian, you can't have the journal.
Oh, come on. It's ridiculous.
No, we'll save it for somebody next week. John Burns grabbed it from Boulevard Jones here for $2.79. Thank you, John. Shane's whipping it out. His third.
Whipping it out.
Third journal. So
whip it good.
So guys, we'll save that journal for next week, Stream Hero. And so come back if you didn't win something and try for next week. It's a pretty fun game.
Rude.
Sorry, buddy.
Rude.
If you guys get the chance and you haven't, make sure you go watch our ups and downs frame by frame review of Strange New World Season 2, Episode 1. And also make sure you go and check out that Shaw video if you're not coming to the member section, so you can see how we think he'll come back to Star Trek Legacy. Tomorrow I'll be doing the Palantir at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Going to be talking about the Flash, and we'll be talking about what Hollywood can do to fix their problem. So I've actually been thinking a lot about what they're doing wrong when they're creating things. And I think I have a solution for how they can fix all of these franchises they're breaking. And I'm going to lay that out for you guys in a thoughtful approach tomorrow. On Saturday, Brian will be on the Salty Nerd Show to go check that out. And then on Sunday, he'll be doing the Popcorn Power Hour on Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all you fathers. And then Monday, we're supposed to be doing Raw Rant, but we don't have a guest yet. So we'll see what happens, whether or not we get somebody or.
Yeah, we thought we were going to have Tom, but what's funny is I made a joke about Father's Day versus Mother's Day. And on Mother's Day, the father kills himself to make sure the mother's good. And then on Father's Day, the wife makes sure that the husband or the father kills himself to make sure that his day is good. So ultimately, the father is working both days. Welcome to fatherhood.
Welcome to fatherhood. And for Wolfkinder 3, what makes someone the stream hero is, and that's as you support us, Wolf, like with super chats and things like that, then eventually someone gets replaced and they're the stream hero, depending on, I think it's like $25 replaces is it every $25?
It's like every $20.
Every $20.
It's not $20 from one person. It could like Boulevard Jones is clever. He sort of sneaks
I'm just
in
saying,
at the end. Yeah.
if it's full, it's $20.
Yeah. If the full HP is $20, yeah.
Yeah. So every $20.
But then also, if you join for the first time, subscribe, it also knocks it off. I think it's supposed to do that, but I'm not sure if it ever. No one's ever tested that theory. So
or gifted memberships,
yeah, or gifted memberships. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go to the members section. That's it. There's a handshake, and you can also hit the join button at the bottom of the video. And regardless of where you're at, we will be there with you. We love you so much. We're going to the members section. Come on in. The water's warm.
Oh, we're going to talk aliens over there, an alien update. So make sure you guys come over real quick.
We're talking about aliens.
Aliens in Vegas update.
Aliens in Vegas.
Oh,
update.
Quickly, super chat from Michael Nemo. Contest? ? Michael, you won the journal, buddy. So hope you must have missed that. So anyway, contact us on Discord or send us an email, Michael, with your information so I can send you that Indiana Jones journal. Congratulations.
Yeah, you won the journal. You missed a spin. Go back. You'll see it. Okay, guys. See you guys.